So while we're still installing some of this Android stuff, I actually want you to go back to the project we were just doing. Actually, no, it's not necessary. New project. We'll come back to this project in a second. Um, Go to learn AR weekend day 1 Euphoria. Create project. Alright, so when you're in there, we're going to go to File, Build Settings, and switch to iOS. So let's do that real quick. Once you have that, let me know when you have that. I'll get there. You must have something running in the background on your computer. Your computer cannot be that much slower than mine or hers. You definitely have something running in the background. Yep. Isn't it? So then you go to File, Build Settings, and iOS, and switch. Got it? Oh, did it finish? Must have finished by now. Oh yeah, that's it. Too. You can turn off OBS too. Like you don't need it when it's running. Got it? Yep. All right. So when you're still in this window, you're gonna click Player Settings here. Now, Player Settings is where you set the name of your app and stuff. You also do that in Xcode. This is also where you set your icon as well. So it's just a texture. So whatever texture you pull in to your project, like so, for example, can also become your icon. Just so you can know that. It's pretty useful. It's taking a second to. There it is. Oh, what? There it is. Yeah, so build settings, player settings, and you can set your icon there if you need to, but that's not what I'm trying to show you now. So you want to scroll down all the way down to XR settings. XR stands for extended reality, so it's augmented reality and virtual reality. We're not going to do virtual reality supported. If you did that, you would basically be building for Google Cardboard. We're going to check Vuforia augmented reality supported. So you just make that checkbox right there. That's in build, so it's in player settings. So you go to build settings, player settings, and then you scroll all the way down to XR settings. And you see a Vuforia things there.
Check that. Right?
Yep, check it. That, and I believe that's it for those settings. Now what you want to do is you want to go to the asset store. And you're going to search Vuforia. Now, there's a bunch of examples here. The one that we're going to do today is the core samples, but they have other cool ones here that are also very interesting. So we're going to do Vuforia core samples. So you're going to click that one. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, you didn't install Vuforia support when you installed Unity at first. So now you do it like separately. That's why there's a link there. So just just install that and then restart Unity, and then you should be good. Where is it downloading it? Yeah, so you want to go to Unity. Just scroll down to Unity. You see in your launcher, and you just right click it and click. Yep. And now you can install that. Then when you first install Unity, it asks you if you want Android support, iOS. I guess this would be a good time to also check if you have Android support as well installed. So the same thing in the platform, like in the build settings, switch platform, Android should be like an available platform there. If it's not, then you probably have to do the same thing that you did before, yeah. We close that scripting. And yeah, you can learn before, yeah. So a quick way to check is you go to File, go to Settings, and just click Android right there. We'll see right now. Yep. So do the same thing. Open Downloads page, and you're gonna do the same thing. Yeah. Did the Vuforia setup finish? Check in Unity, see if you can do it now. So just go to iOS, click iOS, and then player settings. There you go.
You want me to get the whole core
set. Yeah, the whole core sample. All right. So core samples. So yeah, go to Asset Store, type in Vuforia, and just get these core samples. It's going to say importing complete project. So it's the same thing as we were doing with ARKit before. So just import. You're going to lose that picture if you put it in there. It'll take a little bit to import. Yeah, just make sure you install that Android once it's ready to.
No. So on
The asset progress.
it's kind of funny. It's like usually people are so impatient with their computers, but then I guess the people who make things for the for like I don't know any kind of technology have to be ridiculously patient.
It's almost like part of the part of the process
Yeah.
is watching the progress,
Yeah.
learning to do things. Yeah, programmers, especially if they're compiling, I remember when they were compiling, used to take a long time. I had friends who they would just walk around and drink coffee and say, "Aren't you working?" I say, "Yeah, I'm compiling." Learning to compile. Wow. What do you do?
I'm still in school.
Where?
I'm
You study?
My like official thing is like I'm in global liberal studies, and my concentration is contemporary culture and creative production. But you can kind of explore whatever you choose.
Right.
It's not too specific.
Is there something that you're focusing on?
Like I want to learn how to do like augmented reality for like exhibition design for art history, kind of contextualizing it better and like I don't know. It's usually the way that it's written is very isolating. And
Yeah.
it's like really, and it's so interesting. I mean, like I think it's so interesting, so you just want to.
It's a natural fit, it seems, right? For like museums or any exhibits, right?
Mine just finished importing. I don't know how yours is
Oh,
doing.
yeah,
Now.
Mine is
Core
very
symbols.
close.
So, now to get Vuforia going, you're going to need to have a Vuforia account. So we'll get to this in a second. The first thing that you want to do is you want to go to sample scenes. You see that there? And we're going to open the image targets scene. When you open it, you should get like these 4 card type looking things. So sample scenes and then it's 3 image target, it's called. Now, if you click here in the hierarchy on the AR camera, you're going to see over here, it's going to see open Vuforia configuration. You see that? So click on the AR camera, then click on open Vuforia configuration. Now, here you're going to have to input a license key. So what you're going to do is you're going to click add license right here. And it's going to open up the Vuforia website. So register an account. I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in. But go ahead, register an account, and then log in with it. I don't remember my password. Well, now they all know my passwords.
I wasn't even looking. So
No, not you guys. They do now. Yeah. I feel like I always have to reset this password. Something stupid. Must be stupid. Okay, so it has to have one uppercase letter and at least one number. Y'all got in?
Yeah.
All right. So once you're in, what you're gonna do is, oh, I guess this is not my previous account. That's why I have to reset it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So get development key and your app name. Just say learn AR or something like that. Doesn't matter. Check this box and confirm. So it'll give you a key. You click it, and then inside there you'll have this like string. So you're gonna copy that string. Once you get it, and then you go back to Unity, and then here on the right side where it says app license key, you're gonna paste it. Boom. Then for the other settings too, down here, databases. So the way the Vuforia works, it works on this concept of image databases. So like if you want your own custom image, you upload it to Vuforia and then you download this file back from Vuforia, which is a database of that image. It's just a way for them to lock down their API so people aren't just putting out 1,000 images, just with their code working and stuff. So in order for us to use these examples, just check all these databases and activate them here on the right. Some of these you might not need, but just activate all of them. Yep, I believe that's it. So once you have that, now all you have to do is just press play in the scene, and you should see like the camera pop up in your FaceTime camera. There it is. I'm gonna check this little box here called Maximize on Play in the game view, which basically will just make it full screen once I press play. So here are the image targets. I have some printed here. So there he is. And this is a video which you can click and play. So check it out. Pass them along. Does it work?
Yeah.
So to play the video, you press play on it.
That's cool.
So the basic concept is, you see these objects here that are in the Unity scene? So image target astronaut, it has this image target. They're predefined. The database is Vuforia Mars images. The target is astronaut. So these are things that you set up like through Vuforia. And basically the 3D object is just anything that's inside this 3D model. See that? So this guy, if you put your own 3D model there, that's what will show up on that image target. So see, this is a rocket that they just have as an example. So if you have that rocket instead, now when you put the astronaut, the rocket will show up as opposed to what was there before. See? So whatever you put on those image targets as a child object of it is what will kind of show up. So that's the basic gist of it. It's pretty simple, straightforward stuff.
And they used, I guess, those two were just 3D objects. One is an animated one.
So one is the copter.
The drone,
Yeah, it doesn't work so well with the FaceTime camera. I don't know why. It works better like on the iPad and stuff. But basically, exporting it is exactly the same as everything we've done so far. You just export it to Xcode, put it on the iPad or on your phone, and it works with the markers. Yeah. So it wouldn't be like a real Vuforia tutorial unless I showed you like how to upload your own marker or your own image. So say I go on Google, but I need to set up the printer. I don't have the printer set up on this. Let me think. Say if I just use one of these images that I already have printed, and I just re-upload that back to Vuforia just so I show you how it works. Like this drone one, for example. So what was it, Safari? So what you do here is basically in Vuforia, you go to, I think it's Target Manager, add database, and I call this database something like, I don't know, like test. Go into the test database and add a target, and here the target could be an image, could be a cuboid, like a cardboard like thing. Cylinder, 3D cylinder is good for like wristbands, stuff like that, so you can make like an AR wristband. We're gonna do single image for now. You just browse and wait a second. Where did I put this? Alright, so you put your image in that you want, and it's got its name, width in scene units, 1, whatever, or 0.5, doesn't matter, that's like the meters or whatever. And add. Oh, must have no spaces, that's okay. So add that target, there it is. You download the database for Unity Editor, not for any of these other ones. And it is a Unity package. So you just open the Unity package, and there it is. So then what you do is you import that, and now inside Vuforia you can actually go to AR camera, open Vuforia configuration, and load test database. That's the one we just put in. Yep, and activate. And now I'm going to turn off all these Mars ones and all this other stuff. So see, if none of these are activated, you'll see that nothing will happen. Nothing happens. But if I activate the test database, and then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to clone one of these. Which one was this? drone or whatever. So I want to just clone it, and instead of the drone, I'll get rid of the drone and just put that rocket there or whatever they have as a test. And this image target, I'm gonna change it from this database to the database I just uploaded test. See, it's much bigger than because I made it like 0.5 meters, I guess, or something. But yeah, that should work. And then the image target is drone scaled copy. So that would basically work with whatever image you're using. And it should work. No? You fooling me? Before, yeah. Euphoria killing me. Maybe it's too big. I feel like it's probably way too big. Most likely that's what it is.
Because it's
You probably just don't see it. Let me just try it again. Put like a little cube. Oh man. Big cube. I don't know why it's not working. Bum, 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 bum. Why do you do this? Why do you do
images
this?
today.
No, it's oh, user defined. Wait, what? No. No. Predefined test. Huh. You're pretty annoying. Try another one. Oh, I forgot to activate it. Derp. You load the database and you activate it. And why did they, like, if you're loading it, of course you're going to activate it. There it is. It's always something stupid like that.
That's cool.
But that's the idea. And tomorrow, if y'all want, when we're doing some more of the interaction stuff, we have some time left over. I can like get the printer running, and then we can just print some cool markers. And if you have like art that you want to bring, you have the images and the prints.
Yeah, I have.
So we could do that.
And I tried. I just uploaded one.
So let's see. Let's see. So if you have it drawn, like if you have it printed, you have it in an image. Let me see what you did. And you uploaded it? Pretty good. So, but the rating is very low, meaning that like this is not a good marker.
Yeah, I had to. I don't know. I had to like make it a way smaller file because the original is like too massive.
It's not so much the size of the file, it's just the rating means that like as an AR marker, it'll be kind of hard to recognize. It might still work, but if you have another one that you can try, if you have these as images like this, like two, if you have them like two, just like this, or like just the one of these, it should be fine with just one.
Different contrast.
Yeah, I think this would work better. This might be also a little tricky. Did you upload one of these? Yep. It's okay. Yeah, it will just detect the one. Same thing. Choose file.
You can associate a 3D object.
Yes, you can, like a 3D scan or something. It, technically, and then it'll pick it up as a marker, like maybe a chair type or like or a
Figure.
statue or something
Yeah.
like that. That's the idea.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's the one? Oh, it's another one, yeah. Pull it to your desktop. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, pull it to your desktop.
Right? It's fine.
But isn't it supposed to?
Oh, is that what you want? 30% to pixels. Then make it like 1024. I'm hoping that's not like the original one, but you have a copy of it anyway. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'll upload that one now. I don't know where it is, but the artwork sample here, and then add. Yeah, much better rating. See that?
All 5 stars.
Yeah. So download database all. We can try this one too. Why not? Maybe it'll work. Unity. Now when you get it to work, with the photo of the image, you can actually get it to work with your tablet or with your phone on the actual piece, like the original piece.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the idea. So this is just kind of like a rough version. You print it, but yeah, it technically will work with your painting. So yeah, import. And
Did you use your original pieces?
I don't think so. And then go into Unity. So now what you want to do is you want to like maybe double click one of these like oxygen or something like that. Double click it. Yeah, and just kind of look at it from the top. So hold right click over here. And it's like they're really tiny. So like they're below actually. Yeah. So they're really tiny, so you move like really fast through it. That's like yeah, a little bit like let's see, a little bit more. You're upside down. So you can tell where the Y is upside down. So then let's take something like oxygen. You also press F to focus on it. And then D. Let's call this like image target custom. Yeah. And then before your configuration, so you put there camera configuration, and then in here it gives your test database, and you activate it. And then this custom, you're gonna select your database test, and then the image target, whichever one you want it to be. That, and that should be it. And then let's actually turn off the other ones. I don't know if we really did that, but we don't want it to conflict, so it's just really easy. And then, I think that's it. So let's try it. Let's hold up the camera. See if one of us will go. There we are.
Ah, that's cool.
So one of the cool things you can do with this is you can actually take something like I've done this in Photoshop before. Do you have like Photoshop on here? So one thing you can do is actually grab this texture. So if you just create like plane you basically would load like a modified version of this. You basically would create like a modified version of it. So what I've done, for examples, is like make part of the picture like animate, for example, which would be like amazing for like a piece. So I'll just show you like a very simplified example of it. So I'll put it right over it. So I'm going to try to match it as close as possible. I'm going to get rid of this oxygen thing. So I'm basically trying to place it right on top of it, as close as I can get it size-wise and aspect ratio-wise. Yeah. And then say, what I would do, like in Photoshop, I would maybe come in and cut out this part, like that, and maybe make like an animated sky or something like that. But I'll just show you how the theory works. So let's say I color this one, like purple, like that. So now, and then I take that plane and I put it inside the image target. So then now that's what's going to show up on top of it. So now watch, it will turn purple. And then that's it. Oh, there it is. See? And you can make it pulsate, like Unity code or something like that. But you see what I mean? And it looks like, you can get even closer. But that's the idea, is that like you can augment your piece. So someone looking at it through a phone can see the piece come alive in some form.
Right.
Maybe you could place some 3D rocks on top of the actual rocks.
Oh, like hop that.
Yeah, or go crazy with it. You could do all sorts of stuff with it. So like this guy that we had at an earlier like AR boot camp, he drew this kind of art that was just very abstract. Like it wasn't any landscapes or anything. It was just like abstract art. And then I just took his art and I tiled it side to side, and I just made it animate. Just like flow like that. And he was like, oh, and you hold it over his art, and his art just starts moving. Seamlessly, like a river, just kind of flowing. And that's just kind of like an idea of the type of stuff that you can do. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Now Vuforia isn't free to use after a certain amount, but what I would recommend if you really want to use this type of technology in production and you don't want to pay Vuforia prices, check out Easy AR, which does the exact same thing. Wait, Easy AR, Easy AR, something like that. Yeah, Easy AR. They're Chinese people. They have it up there. They also, it's like if you want to get the pro version, it's just a one-time $500, and you get unlimited something. But their free version does exactly what Vuforia does without the Vuforia watermark on your app, and you can get you can scan it as many times as you want. I haven't reached any limit with it.
Is it the same thing where you upload?
So not even. It's even simpler. You don't upload a file. You just do it inside Unity. You just change some Unity.
Everything in there. And
yeah.
So there's
So, just a suggestion. But yeah, let me know if you have if you're doing an exhibition or something like that and you need some help with it, I'd be happy to. It's cool, but it's something to think about because Vuforia, has the watermark, and you need to pay the licensing fees, which are sometimes could be a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much Vuforia. It's pretty straightforward. It has, as you can see, it has other cool features you could, make a marker be a 3D object or something like that. if you want like that running on your phone, you could just export it in the exact same way that we just did that, and then you hover over with your phone, and your piece will turn purple in the same exact way. It works even better than on the webcam because the phone camera is much better than the FaceTime camera. Yeah, so almost to the finish line on day one. So we're gonna open project, and we're gonna go back to our AR core project.
Do I need to save this other one?
If you want, yeah. Just make sure you remember which one it was. It was in the examples, and it was image targets. But if you can't find it, just go through all of them. There's only like 6 or 7. So once you have this opened, we're gonna go into File, click Unity, and then File, Build Settings, and we're gonna switch platform to Android, which is right under iOS. Let's switch platform. Once you have that, one other important thing is you click Player Settings, and then you go down to XR Settings, and now you should see AR Core supported in there. So check that. It says AR Core requires minimum API level to be at least Android 7. So then you scroll back up to Other Settings, and you go to where it says minimum API level. Right now it's Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, and Other Settings. You should make that to Android 7.0 Nougat. Minimum API level. Then your package name, it can't stay com.companyname.product name. It'll give you an error when you build. You should just do com.your company name or your name dot AR core or whatever you want to call it. So you'll see, like, if you try to build and you didn't do that, it'll say bundle identifier package name cannot be that. You need to change it. Just a thing. So that pretty much sets up the project. So all you have to do is just XR settings, check out AR core, and then other settings. Make sure you're targeting minimum API level Android 7.0, and then you change your package name. Once that's done, now you can do file save project if you want, if you're saving those project settings. But we're not done yet. So the other important thing is you have to set up your Unity to know where Android Studio is located. So you have to click Unity here, and you have to go to Preferences. And then in there, you go to External Tools. See that right under General? So it's in Unity and Preferences, and then External Tools. Scroll down, and you'll see path names for SDK and JDK. Now, I want you to copy what I have, but change your username to your username. So, and I'll actually pull this up. So it's kind of like you have to look it up, literally, to be able to find it. Like you have to, go through a bunch of Stack Overflow threads and for them to tell you where to find it. I did it for you. Oops, it's the wrong one. I need to. Sorry. Yeah, so it should be there. And then once you type that in, then you should click Browse. I'll make these bigger for you. There we go. So the first one's for SDK, the second one is for JDK. I don't think the version of JDK has changed since the meetup, so should be fine.
And
once you type it in, you can. Can you what?
I'm not sure. Does it matter? Like it's capitalized and stuff.
I mean, like, yeah, I think you should make sure all caps are proper, like how I have it typed in your username too. So, real quick, could you just click browse right there on the first one to make sure it's actually in a place? Good. So that means it's good. Yep. And once you type it in, then you click browse, and then you should see that it's a real folder in your place.
I'm not really sure.
So try to click browse in that top one. Yep, you're good. That's it. Yep. So now that you have that, we're just going to do these underlines. You can see where there's the periods. Got it? Click browse and it was good? Cool. So that saved you many hours of Googling. Believe me. All right. And now the last thing is we need to download the actual ARCore stuff from Google. So you just Google ARCore Unity. And the first thing that should show up is a developers.google link, getting started with Unity. And you're going to scroll down. It's going to say install Unity 2017.3 with the Android build. You already have that. You will need to get the ARCore SDK for Unity. So this part right here where it says download the SDK for Unity, click that. It will download a Unity package. If you just Google, ARCore Unity, it's the first article. So once you have that Unity package from this download the SDK for Unity link, you can just click that Unity package. And it's going to import everything, so just import everything. Then some of the other steps here, prepare your device. You're not going to need to do because my device is already prepared. But just so you know, enabling developer options, you need to do that on your phone. Every phone is kind of different, but for the most part, you go to like system, you go to like about phone, something like that. I think they changed it up here a bit. Yeah, about phone, and then you scroll all the way down to like build number, and you just like keep typing that like 8 times. You click it or something, and it says you are now an Android developer. But for me, it's just saying no need, you're already a developer. So you keep clicking it. It's like it's an Android way of doing it. So and then you're able to plug in your Android phone to your computer. We're going to try this on each computer. And the first thing, so once you have it imported in Unity, you have the Google ARCore folder. Go into examples. And then hello AR. And then scenes. And then there's a scene in there called hello AR. So it's in examples, hello AR, scenes. And then you open that scene, double click it. Then you go to File, Build Settings. We're going to do this for each person. I'm just showing you how it's done. Add Open Scenes. So you add the scene that we just opened, Hello AR. And then all you have to do is build and run. gonna ask me where I want to save the APK file. I save it to the desktop, LOAR, something like that. Save, and it's building. Oh, always forget about this. Tango does not support multi-threaded rendering when color camera is used. So Tango is what ARCore used to be called. It was called Project Tango before it was called ARCore. They forgot to rename that. So one more thing, you have to go to Android player settings and scroll down to where it asks for, I think it's in, where is it, other settings. Yeah, so other settings, and there's a check mark here for multi-threaded rendering. We want to uncheck that because it's not supported, or whatever they say. And now build and run. So yeah, the multi-threaded rendering needs to be checked off. That's what it told us in the message. Checking the connected Android device. Should be working. No Android device has been found. So let me see here. USB debugging is connected. Try this again. Sometimes it does this. So I'm going to disable debugging. Gosh, I'm just frozen on this. Enable it. Allow USB debugging. Alright, try that again. Checking. There it is. Found it. When in doubt, when it can't find it, sometimes you have to go into your Android phone, disable USB debugging, enable it again, and then that usually does it. Yeah. It's another one of those like hair-ripping problems where it's like, why? It's connected. But yeah, that's all you have to do. I figured it out a long time ago. They never tell you that, but there's no one to tell you. I'm here to tell you. So, packaging assets. It's going to take a sec. For you to know that it's actually going to work, you don't need to actually have an Android phone plugged in. You can actually just build the APK file itself. So you can actually click build, not build and run. So build and run requires the phone connected. So you can just save it somewhere to your desktop. If the build completes and you get an APK file on your desktop, that's like an Android installation file that you could pull onto any phone SD card.
Oh.
So it's like, that's how Android works. It's like these little installation files, they're called APK files.
Okay.
So if your Unity can export an APK file, that means you're pretty much, you're good to go on Android development. So, did it get it? Where? Did I do the folder? Can you put it on the desktop and see if it gives any errors and stuff? Yeah, that shared assets thing takes a while to build sometimes, but is it building? Do you build it to your desktop? It's built,
Yeah, I did.
but it shouldn't be done so quick. Oh, you did it on iCloud, not. Oh, it's okay. It's the same thing. Just try it again, just save. It's doing it so quick. It's so weird. Why is that? Hold on, this is you didn't type this in right. There's no folder there. This one is good because it actually takes you to the folder, whereas this one just takes you. Oh, it is. This doesn't mean anything to me. Sorry?
No.
Yeah, Chrome time.
I just started doing
Damn. What a year to get started.
well, like last year I played with
It was a pretty good game back in the day. Played vanilla. Then I played Burning Crusade, and I played Wrath of the Lich King, and that's about it. After Wrath of the Lich King, I don't know.
it's really like I have like two characters where when I like have them leveling and I'm leveling up
The level up.
level 9 years in my head, it's so different. It's like it's called Legion now,
Yeah.
and you're like you have a very central role rather than like for my like first character, you kind of doing like random shit.
Yeah, it's quests and stuff, but yeah, the end game is always like you're either
It's so
PvPing
intense.
or you're like PvEing. You PvP or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What class?
For which
The leveled up one.
the leveled up one is Shaman Dragon.
Basically, an undead warlock.
Cool.
That was like my main. Never leveled up another one. I just played undead warlock. Yeah.
It's an investment.
Oh yeah. You know which one of these you downloaded? Some of the shit. I don't know. You might have to revisit this. His seems to have worked. Must be something to do with the version. It's always like the version of OS X and the version of Java. Hers just fails with an error right away. It says the Java isn't good. Yours looks like it's about to complete.
Yeah.
Mine already completed.
It gave me an error on the name, like the package name was wrong, so I went in and changed it a little bit.
So here's what the Android looks like. You can see it's going to do the same exact thing. So I'm just going to search for surfaces. There it is. Pick up the table and see. Yep, for you too. It's exactly the same thing as the ARKit, except probably less good. I think it's like they're kind of playing catch up. So scan a little bit. There it is, and see the same thing. Just for Android phones, they needed that to stay competitive. But it definitely doesn't have the face stuff. I recommend when you go home, play with the face example.
Yeah.
Just try to build it to your iPhone X. It would be totally worth it. But yeah, other than that pretty much covers day one. I hope it was informative.
It was awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, tomorrow we're gonna try to have some more fun. Make some little bit of scripting, something a little bit more interactive and stuff. And yeah, I mean, if you come with any ideas of what you kind of want to cover and stuff, feel free to. And we'll try to make it fun.
Thanks.
Awesome.